All right. Dawn Catcher here with another random monologue. And this one is rather random for me since it's not really a preoccupation, unlike some people I know and some members of my family. Um, Even though I make my own clothes. Modest clothes versus immodest clothes. Um, Starting off, my definition of modest clothes are clothes that conceal parts of your body in a manner that does not draw eyes to your body. So there can be a wide range of modest clothing that some people that I know would not consider modest. And immodest clothing, by my definition, are clothes that do not conceal parts of the body that should be covered and reveal them. So that's my definition of modest clothes and immodest clothes. All right, let's get down to this and get this over with. I have friends in the Amish and Mennonite community, and I have plenty of family that are not. Actually, I have no biological family members, to my knowledge, in the Amish and Mennonite communities. If I have some in the Quaker community or in the charity community, they're probably more distant related, but hi cousins anyway. Yeah. The Lord bless you richly either way. And I have distant family members that are, in all sorts of faith and religious compulsions or backgrounds or institutions, ways of living, however you want to put it. I hope they're not compulsions. But, a person's worldview and what a person believes tends to affect whether they dress modestly or immodestly. There is a time and place to dress immodestly. Obviously, at the doctor's office or when you're taking a shower, you're not exactly going to be modest during examination or during the shower. If you bathe in clothing, yes, that is different for you. Sorry, I was distracted for a moment and needed to pause it. Yes, I have outside cats, and two of them have babies. And the babies are grown enough that she's caught something and she's teaching the kittens how to hunt. Yes, that has nothing to do with modest or immodest clothing. My random monologues have hidden random monologues in them. Sorry, peoples. Anyway. Well, you wouldn't be, wearing clothes in the shower normally. Unless you have guests over and you're putting swim trunks or a bathing suit on for whatever reason. Some people are strange and interesting and want to avoid being caught nude. I do not blame them. Yes, some of my cousins know what I'm talking about. Some of the ones I grew up with know what I'm talking about. Some of the stories they've told me before, yeah. about what they've had to do when they've had guests over because of people not respecting bathroom rules. Yes. Forgive my cat's grumpiness. The inside one, not the outside ones. Yes. As far as my preoccupation with clothing, I don't have much of it except for myself. I prefer to be modest because I do not want to cause anyone to sin. Not that I think that there's anything here attractive enough to pay attention to. Yeah. As long as God's happy with me, I'm contented with who I am, and I don't care what people think about me that way anymore. But I still don't want to risk it because I know people are people, and some people, have wandering eyes. And look everywhere and at everything, whether they're studying people like bugs. Sorry, occasionally I am guilty of that. Please forgive me. I think everyone and everything is interesting. Mainly for scientific purposes. And hopefully God glorifying purposes. I avoid looking at anyone below the neck, by the way. I don't want to be traumatized further. Anyway. Yes, moving on from the awkward moment. Yes, I try to treat people how I want to be treated, and since I don't want to see anything that I don't want to see, yes, I dress in a way that will conceal my body for those people that do not desire to see what they do not desire to see. Yes. Yeah, I wear tunics and vestures and robes. Those clothes are non-gender specific. There are other modest non-gender specific clothes, as in overalls. I don't like wearing them. Or, loose but properly fitting pants and shirts. I don't like those either. Even though I wear leggings or pants underneath my tunics because of the wind and because the snaps I put on the bottom of my tunics to, basically makes it look like Inuyasha clothes. Sometimes they rip, so yes. Modesty is very important to me. But, there are many other ways for people to be modest. And I am determined to design a modest bathing suit. When I achieve that, I'll let you guys know. Until then, as much as I love swimming, I'm avoiding swimming still. But I will figure out how to make a modest bathing suit that doesn't look like those awful things from the turn of last century. Which still end up being immodest anyway, because of how they cling to you. That won't make me look like a girl. Yeah. Anyway. Awkward. Trying to move on again Yes, this is supposed to be therapeutic. I hope this is therapeutic for you guys because it's awkward for me. Forgive me. Very awkward for me. Um, yeah. But that's the main reason why I do my utmost best to dress modestly. But besides tunics, robes, and vestures, and overalls, and, um, you know, loose but properly fitting pants and shirts, there are other ways to dress modest. But most of those ways of dressing are much older styles of dressing. Some of those are ancient. Even though some of those are preserved in the modern culture of other cultures. Yes. Um, Reasons why I prefer modest clothing over immodest clothing. Yes. Sorry, pausing a moment. I have a hungry mama cat to feed. Yes. My reasons for preferring modest clothing over immodest clothing. For most of you who do not know my detest for certain clothing, I am very picky. Because my mom used to put me in clothing that accentuated the feminine aspects of my body. Because she wanted me to get some highfalutin, well-paid male as a husband. Ha! Yeah, so I was stuck wearing immodest clothing that was tight and uncomfortable and felt like I was wearing things that were worse than bondage pants. No, she didn't stick me in those, thankfully. I wouldn't want to think of me in those. The zebra pants were interesting enough. Anyway, avoiding animal print. Yes, I doubt you'll be seeing me in any tunics or vestures or robes that have animal print on them. Like I said, very picky. Because, well, for one thing, modest clothes are comfortable. I make my tunics and vestures and robes in a way that basically feels like I'm walking around wearing huge, comfy sheets and blankets. That give me plenty of elbow room and lots of snuggly comfort, and no one can tell anything that I don't want them to tell of my underclothes. Which, in modest clothes, everybody seems to know what kind of underwear or bra you're wearing. And I don't want people knowing those details. Thank you very much. It's your prerogative if you want people to know. My mama used to say it's better that they know that you have those on than I would say it's none of their concern whether they know you're wearing anything underneath your clothes or not. Shout out to all those that wear kilts out there. You are brave peoples. But they're not always modest. So that's why I don't wear kilts. That's why I wear tunics. The wind ravages those things. And yeah. You guys are brave souls. Anyway. I'm trying to do this in the most serious manner possible because I am serious about this issue. But it's hard, very, very difficult for me. Very, very difficult. It's most embarrassing. Although it shouldn't be, but it is. But because of the sexual abuse and sexual neglect I went through when I was in a relationship, and prior to ever having what was supposed to be a marriage, not sexual neglect before then, just sexual abuse before then, because I wasn't in a marital relationship before then. I've only been in what was supposed to be one. And it wasn't. Anyway, continuing on. I prefer that people do not look at my body. Because, anytime people look at my body, they tend to start either harming me or treating me like I'm ugly filth. And I do not like being treated either way, thank you. And I'm sure there are plenty of other people that do not like being treated that way. If anyone actually likes being treated that way, let me know and help me understand why, because I don't get it. That awful Marilyn Manson song that was also another person's song before that, that says everyone wants to be used by you, or what was it? Everyone wants to be used. Or everyone wants to be... No, everyone wants to be used, or everyone wants to... Anyway, you guys know the song. Thankfully, I don't know it as well as I used to. It was one of those songs that I had to hear over and over and over again during things that, were not good and not of God. But, yes, this is supposed to be therapeutic. Think on the therapeutic things. Think on the healthy things. But as far as immodest clothing and my experience with immodest clothing, it has negative adverse effects that are far from pleasing to me. One, I felt degraded, and I felt like both a sex item because of those that were treating me that way, and I felt like I had no rights to my body anymore, because anyone could look at me that wanted to look at me, whether I wanted them to look at me or not. And I didn't have a choice. My mother my mommy, she bought the clothes. I had no choice over that. It was either wear them or go naked. Those were my choices from her. I had no other choices during that time. I am very thankful that I have a choice now to cover my body up. And I think of all those people out there that still don't have a choice whether they can choose their body or not because of how other people in their life control what they wear. There are plenty of people all around the world that are forced into modest clothes. And I can understand them going through a time where they want to wear things that are less modest, more revealing, because they were forced into modest clothes, forced to cover their bodies. I can understand that. But for me, being forced into immodest clothes because of my mother's agenda, because she thought she was doing what was best for me. She wanted a better life for me, but she was going about it all the wrong way, because what she thought was a better life wouldn't have really have been a better life for me. But she did the best she could from her understanding of things at the time. I forgive her wrongs. I love my mommy. She's passed now. I miss her. I don't miss the bad things, but I miss the good things. We'll leave it at that. But because of going through having to wear tight-fitting, painted-on clothes the majority of the time, basically from my early teen years to still partially into what was supposed to be my newlywed years, I was stuck wearing immodest clothing. And I didn't even know it was immodest. I didn't know how bad it was showing off parts of my body that I didn't really want people looking at. But that was all I had to wear. And the fellow who's my ex, he would have preferred me to have modest clothes available to me, but anything that would have fit me properly, that was modest, that wouldn't have made me look like a girl, or wouldn't have made me look like a man in a dress, was too expensive for our budget. And so I was stuck still wearing what my mother bought. Yeah, let's not go back into that. So, yeah, those are my reasons. I encourage you guys, search things out for yourself. There are plenty of ways to be modest and feel comfortable in modest clothes. For all of you guys that wear immodest clothes and are comfortable with it, please explain that to me, because I really don't get it. After what I've went through, those aren't comfortable to me at all. Yeah, and as far as fashion and style and all that stuff, I don't get into that. For you guys that get into being fashionable and stylish, I'm sure there are plenty of ways to be fashionable and stylish in hopefully a God-glorifying manner that's modest. But unfortunately, there are a lot more ways to be fashionable and stylish and be immodest. Because, unfortunately, I mean, for those that have bodies that are built more masculine, that are thin and trim, yeah, it's easy to be modest and fashionable. But for those that have more feminine bodies or bodies that aren't thin and trim, for whatever reasons, whether health reasons or other reasons, yeah, it's a lot harder to find things that are modest. A lot harder. And so I'm thankful and blessed that God introduced me to someone who's like a second or extra mom to me, that actually shares my mom's birthday, January 17th, for anyone who cares, that taught me how to use a sewing machine, and they taught me how to make cape dresses. I modified the pattern into tunics and vestures and robes. Completely changed it. Sorry, Joanne. Not sorry that I'm not stuck in dresses anymore, though. But sorry if this gets back to you somehow. Please don't be offended. I already told you I was switching to robes and vestures and tunics. You already knew that. Anyway, but I'm very thankful that I can make my own clothes. I know a lot of people can't. No, I don't normally make other people's clothing. I can tell you that it's a lot easier than you think to make your own clothing. It's just time consuming and takes patience and practice. For some people, they just don't have a knack for it. For some people, I know some people that can throw a shirt together, pants together, tunic, dress together, in just a matter of hours. I mean, start to finish. I can't do that normally. I can do it in a day if I really push myself or if I'm really motivated, but yes, usually it's time consuming, and it takes me at least a week to get 3 full sets of clothing out, when I need new stuff. And I don't have a huge wardrobe. I don't want a huge wardrobe. I make what I like. I stick with it until it starts wearing out, and then I make some other stuff that I like, and then I wear that out. And yeah, so that's it for this random monologue. Any comments or explanations that you guys have that may help me understand your perspective? I prefer to be a well-rounded person, even if I take everything that everyone says with a grain of salt, if not a quarter tablespoon. I still value you guys' input. I love you guys even if I don't know you, and are praying for you. And you guys be blessed, and the Lord keep you, and His face shine upon you and smile upon you. Don Catra.